What's up, Pittsburgh? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Entertainment on Point. I'm your host, Wyatt Cree, and as you can see, my co-host Casey has gone missing, but don't worry because it's Marlee and me today.
Hello.
So everyone please welcome Marlee Pinchok for her hosting debut on Entertainment on Point. I'm so excited to have you.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. Yeah, thank you.
Of course, you always kill it on the report, so of course you're gonna kill it as host. So let's kick things off with our top stories of the week. Marlee, what do you have for us?
If you are not familiar with Blake Shelton as an award-winning country musician or even a coach on NBC's hit series The Voice, you are missing out because Blake Shelton has officially been named the 2017 Sexiest Man Alive by People magazine. Straying away from the typical sexy man with the chiseled face and rock-hard abs, Blake Shelton, 41 years old, won people over with his down-to-earth presence, humor, and southern charm. Shelton was astonished when he first heard the news and sarcastically tells People magazine in this week's cover story, quote, "Y'all must be running out of people. We're down to somebody who is somewhat symmetrical." In all seriousness, Shelton was convinced by his supportive girlfriend, Gwen Stefani, to stop putting himself down and embrace the crown that he has been given. According to CNN, Stefani tells Blake, quote, "Listen to me. You're going to regret this for the rest of your life if you don't take this gift and just live in the moment." Now officially America's heartthrob, Blake claims that the only thing he cares about is having the opportunity to unveil his shiny new title to his fellow Voice co-judge Adam Levine in the most extra way possible. Blindfolding Levine and driving him in a golf cart to a vacant lot, Blake placed Levine in front of a gigantic brick-painted mural of Shelton's Sexiest Man Alive cover for People magazine. Despite their harmless, petty competition on the show, Levine congratulated Blake and expressed his admiration for his good friend. I, for one, could not be happier with People magazine's decision.
Well, that's the first I'm hearing a lot about this story.
I know.
The way he received
Yes.
it is actually so adorable.
I know.
I have to admit, I was not ecstatic when I heard that he was the sexiest man
Not a lot
alive.
of people were.
I know, and you're a
Yeah.
country fan, so I'm sure you were hype about it,
If
right?
you know me, I love country, love Blake Shelton, love, country in general. This is my take on it. So, for the past years, the sexiest man alive has been, the typical sexy men, Adam
Yeah.
Levine, just, pretty face and all that. But I think People magazine wanted to, make a point and say that sexy, doesn't have to be that. Sexy is confidence. Sexy is the drive to, accomplish something, and Blake does that. So,
Completely.
yeah,
I love it so
totally.
much. Well, that was a great story, and
Yeah.
it goes right along with mine about a different magazine.
Okay.
So move over Kim Kardashian because Nicki Minaj is here to break the internet. This week, the rap queen released her paper magazine properly titled Menage a Trois. The cover and spread was shot by renowned photographer Ellen Von Unworth and features Nicki rocking her signature 3 wigs, black, blonde, and of course pink. Paper Mag's last Break the Internet edition featured the now iconic recreation of Jean-Paul Goude's Champagne Incident, starring Kim Kardashian, a bottle of streaming champagne, and the famous Kardashian behind. Paper's creative director Drew Elliott stated in an interview, quote, "We have never called an issue break the internet since we did it back in 2014 with Kim Kardashian. It takes a certain type of talent with an awesome fan base and the ability to put trust and paper to work our magic. But don't worry, there's no competition between the two cover stars." Kim commented 3 fire emojis on Nicki's Instagram, which unveiled the racy cover, and that also garnered over 1.5 million likes in under 13 hours. Nicki Minaj is currently working on her 4th studio album, which will follow up her 2012 release, The Pink Print, and Kim is sitting pretty with her KKW brand soaring even higher with the release of 3 new fragrances. But although we love both of these lovely women here at Entertainment on Point, I have to ask, who really broke the internet? So Marlee, who broke the internet? Let me know. What's your opinion?
Nicki just never fails to disappoint. Ever.
I agree.
So, I'd have to say Nicki. I love her. I love it.
Although I absolutely love Nicki's cover, I do have to say my girl Kim K. She did it
Yeah.
first. She broke it one time, and it's never been the same since.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And I love Kim Kardashian. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I don't know. kind of spicy. It's new. You know?
I know, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, Entertainment on Point is going to try to break the internet. Coming up after the break, when Mike Turk returns to EOP with the latest from the box office.
And get ready for it, because your EOP host, Casey Houlihan, has a special Taylor Swift reputation rundown that you do not want to miss.
I was you, I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. If I was you, I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. If I was you, I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too.
Spending just 7 minutes climbing stairs each day cuts your risk of a heart attack in half over 10 years. Sure, elevators are convenient, but you burn twice the number of calories just going upstairs than you do while jogging. Think about how long you spend waiting for elevators. The average person spends the equivalent of 2 years waiting for elevators over the course of their lifetime. Don't let that be you. Save time and increase energy. Next time, take the stairs.
I tell these guys all the time to stick to talking sports and not playing sports.
Here we go. Ready? Didn't make it.
Welcome back to EOP. Returning to Entertainment on Point is our friend Mike Turk with the top news from the box office.
Thanks, Wyatt. Let's try to break the internet tonight. Gal Gadot made headlines this past weekend when she threatened to not return for the sequel to her summer smash hit Wonder Woman. Gadot is refusing to sign her contract until producer Brett Ratner is completely removed from the project. 6 women have recently spoke out and accused Ratner of sexual harassment or misconduct. Warner Brothers is now finding themselves in a tricky situation. For Gadot to sign on to the 2019 sequel, which is a for sure moneymaker, Ratner's financing company, Rat Pack Dune Entertainment, cannot be involved. Now, Gadot's performance as Diana was a large part of the reason why the film has gone on to gross well over $821 million since its release. It's hard to see Warner Brothers parting ways with Gadot anytime soon, especially with one of the most anticipated films of the year being released this week, Justice League. Despite not being critically loved films, Batman vs. Superman and Suicide Squad grossed well over $1.6 billion with a B dollars for Warner Brothers and DC. Now, Justice League is highly anticipated amongst fans due to the recent critical success of Wonder Woman and the financial successes of all the DC films. Justice League is in theaters this weekend. If you plan on going to see it, you are going to want to pre-order your tickets because this and Star Wars The Last Jedi are the biggest films of the year. Now, that's all I have for movies. Let's go over to Casey Houlihan for the breakdown on pop star Taylor Swift's latest album.
Hey guys, welcome to a special music segment hosted by yours truly, Casey Houlihan. Around here at UView, I have a reputation for being a huge Taylor Swift fan, and I was truly counting down the days until her album released last Friday. This is Swift's 6th studio album, and it's already broken records. According to a recent report from Vanity Fair, Swift's Reputation is already the top-selling album for 2017. Billboard reported that Reputation sold 1.05 million copies in only 4 days. A large reason for the mass sales is that Taylor has not released her music on popular streaming sites such as Spotify and Pandora. It is rumored that she will be releasing her tunes once it has been a full week from the release, but nothing is for certain yet. On to the most important part of this segment, my review. In numerical value, I've given this album 6 out of 15, meaning I determined 6 tracks as solid lyrical Taylor standard pieces out of the total 15. I know everyone is sick of hearing about the 4 singles Swift released prior to the album drop, so I'm going to focus on the remaining 11 tracks. My favorite song on this album is I Did Something Bad. When I read the title off of the pre-release track list, I groaned, but the song itself surprised me. Taylor is not pulling any punches on this track, calling out her past flames who have torn her apart to the media post-breakup. Another standout track on this album is This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things. This track is Tay calling out all her fake friends who turned on her, specifically Kanye West. Swift refers to the incident in which Kim and Kanye released an apparent phone call between Swift and Kanye on her approving some not-so-nice lyrics about herself in the song Famous. Swift sings the words, "Friends don't try to trick you, get you on the phone and mind twist you, so I took a axe to a mended fence." This is clearly referencing Swift's many on and off again feuds with West and Kardashian. Finally, I want to talk about the last track on the album, New Year's Day. This is the most stripped-down song on Tay's album, which features nothing more than her vocals and a piano. Its simplicity is what makes it great, and Taylor most recently performed the number on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. The performance took place during the episode in which Jimmy made an emotional comeback after taking a few nights off after the death of his mother, Gloria. The performance brought Fallon and everyone watching to tears. In an album dominated by synth and club beats, this track was a refreshing ending to the record. Taylor warned us that the old Taylor was dead, and she delivered. The new Taylor is here. Only time will tell if she's here to stay. That's the rundown on Reputation. Now let's go to EOP reporter Cole DeAlejandro with the biggest stories from the small screen.
Thanks, Casey. Winter is coming, and so is a Game of Thrones marathon. London's Prince Charles Theatre has announced that they will be hosting a marathon lasting from November 27th to November 30th, where all 7 seasons will be binged non-stop. The reason for this extreme form of dedication is to celebrate the upcoming release of the box set of the first 7 seasons of George R.R. Martin's hit series. The box set is slated for a December 12th Blu-ray and DVD release, so you can binge the first 7 seasons from the comfort of your own couch. If you're like me and you're more into comedy and politics rather than dragon queens, get ready for the Fake News with Ted Nelms, starring Ed Helms. Comedy Central has announced that the new hour-long comedy special will feature, you guessed it, fake news stories. The fake news will be presented as real news filled with punchlines and jokes. The special airs December 13th at 10 p.m. on Comedy Central. Back to Marlee on the couch.
Thanks, Cole. EOP viewers, don't touch that dial. Entertainment on Point will be right back with plenty of tea to spill.
Oh, it got me dead.
You'll ever do. 2 can be as bad as 1. It's the loneliest number since the number 1.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Does not matter if I'm short or tall. If I have skinny legs or my hips are wide. It only matters who I am inside.
Blue eyes, brown eyes, black or green. What makes me most beautiful cannot be seen. When you look at me, don't judge me by my parts.
The most beautiful thing about me is my heart.
Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. I'm Josh Troop alongside Jess Paterchak. Take a look at the 5-day forecast.
You might have already burned your bracket, ripped it up, or put it through a paper shredder by now.
British Prime Minister Theresa May officially triggered Article 50 on Tuesday.
The World Baseball Classic has concluded with Team USA winning its first title in 4 WBC tournaments.
And that is your news tonight. With Royce Jones, I'm Danis Marrero. Have a great night.
Welcome back to EOP. It's time for a special edition of our segment, Tea Time. Today, I'll be quizzing some of our EOP co-hosts to see if they can tell whether my tea is hot or cold.
I love it. I love this.
Do we get the rules, ladies?
Awesome. Yes.
Okay, so first up in the rumor mill this week, Kim Kardashian revealed to Ellen DeGeneres and James Corden that her sisters Khloe and Kylie are both pregnant. Is this tea hot or cold? Marlee says the tea is hot. Casey says the tea is cold. The tea is cold.
Now, I thought about my defense for this. And the reason is, it would have been hot if it happened weeks ago. Because this pregnancy rumor with the Kardashians has been dragged out so long. I stopped caring about it. Like, people were reporting on it every single day, and I was like, okay, it's probably not even true. And I just let it go. Like, I was so tired of it. Otherwise, I would agree with you, because when it first came out, I was like, oh, how exciting, all of them are pregnant at once or whatever. But then I was like, ugh, like, I don't care anymore. That's why it's cold for me.
See, I don't know. I do agree with that. I do. It's just, I don't know. So I follow Kylie on Snapchat. And
she's very suspicious on Snapchat.
She's very suspicious. That's the reason why, you know, my cup is boiling hot. Because it's only her face. She's not showing her body, which is a little, you know.
Shady.
While Kim wouldn't reveal the rumors about her sisters, during a segment with James Corden, she drank a sardine smoothie to avoid having to say that. But she did reveal that she is having a baby girl on Ellen.
Oh
so that is exciting. And moving right along with our next rumor, allegedly Fifth Harmony's Normani is leaving the group to become a solo act, much like former member Camila Cabello. Hot or cold tea? Hot tea. Both ladies guessed hot tea. Is it hot? It's warm. It's lukewarm tea.
Fair.
So Normani did confirm that she has signed individual management, and she's also confirmed that she's working with Stargate, who is a big pop producer, worked with Britney Spears, worked with Beyonce, Rihanna.
Oh, wow.
So she's in the studio, confirmed through Instagram, but I don't know what the future is with these girls.
Yeah. Here's my thing. I said hot just because of how hot Camila Cabello has been. Because
very hot on the charts.
Yes, that's what I mean. She's been so hot on the charts with Havana, and of course there's Crying in the Club. Like, she broke away from them, and it was the best thing she could have done, honestly. Like, the thing is, when you're in a group, you're known as the group, and I honestly didn't know the names individually of any of the members until Camila broke away, and then that was suddenly like a thing. Because they're just one collective group until then. So, I don't know. I think if she can do as well as Camila Cabello, she will have made a great decision. But do you think that's like the end for the group?
Yeah.
Because
I
you
think
can't
they
just
have maybe one album left in them.
You can't just keep subtracting members. I mean, it's kind of like with One Direction. It was like they had one album left in them, and then they all went their separate ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish them all the best. I wish them all the best, solo or together. And our last rumor for Tea Time. Back in 2002, allegedly, Britney Spears once asked designer Giuseppe to create shoes that would melt on stage. Is this tea hot or cold? Did she want melting shoes, Miss Britney Spears? Casey says cold. Marlee says hot. And Marlee is right. This is hot tea.
It's Britney Spears. I mean, like, it's hot.
The reason I knew you were gonna say hot because you're such a Britney fan. I love Britney too, but like I don't care about these shoes. I mean, if they had actually happened, here's the thing. When it comes to wacky clothing items like that was Lady Gaga's thing. So I feel like if Britney had tried to do it, it would have just been like, oh, well, Lady Gaga
this was back before Gaga. This was back in 2002. Britney was on the cover of Rolling Stone with Mary J. Blige and Shakira, and that was like the first time she'd ever worn Giuseppe heels, apparently. And so she asked him to make her shoes that would melt that she could wear on tour.
Why did she?
That's awesome.
But like, why?
I don't know.
Britney does what she wants.
Britney does what she wants, and the tea is hot. The tea is always hot here on Entertainment on Point.
That's true.
Well, that wraps up tea time for this week, and that also ends this week's episode of EOP. As always, thank you, Marlee, for co-hosting with me tonight, and thanks, Casey, for sharing your seat and staking your claim on the desk.
Of course, I always love having Marlee here, and it was so fun to feature her. But be sure to follow us on social media at Entertainment on Point on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Until next time for EOP, I'm Marlee Pinchok.
I'm Casey Houlihan.
And I'm Wyatt Cree.
Bye, guys.